Y'all, we're back once again. Look at this, 2 vids in a row. Go from 11 months of no uploads to 2 back to back. But before we actually get into the lift, I do want to kind of talk about why I stopped uploading and what kind of happened in that regard. We'll put timestamps if you want to skip past this part, but I do think that it is a helpful thing to talk about. So I stopped uploading in, I think, around October of last year. The true reason for that is, well, I kind of kicked out my videographer and I sent him back to Texas. And you're like, why the fuck would you do that? And that is because of the actual overarching issue. And that is, I kind of lost my mind, to be truthful with you. I was on PEDs since I was 18. And, I was using a lot of them, at least a lot of them for what my body could handle. We all differ in that regard, same with our response and stuff, but my body very clearly made it known that I couldn't tolerate what I was doing and I kept going anyway. So I hopped on at 18. I started on 300 mgs a test, a normal amount. And then I bumped it up to over grams of gear from there. So 6 weeks of 300 tests into grams of gear, just like that. And that was kind of the trajectory of how I ran PEDs. And there were a lot of red flags with my body. There were a lot of issues that definitely took place. Basically I would have 6 months of blasting super hard and then my body would just take a shit. There was one time where I couldn't eat food. My gut kind of just destroyed itself for months. Another time where my bloods were super messed up and my cortisol was destroyed. And each time that happened, you would think I'd be like, dang, dude, I'm taking way too much. I'm having issues. I should bump it down a little bit. Nope. My thought process was, dang, I just lost this little bit of time because I'm having health issues. Next cycle, I'm going to run more. So that's kind of how that went. And throughout that entire time I'm doing that, it's wreaking havoc on my mind. I'm super angry all the time. I'm emotional. I'm super irrational. I don't feel okay. I'm thinking about suicide every day. And people are pointing these things out to me. My coach is he didn't support any of this to start, to be honest. He was always suggesting low cycles. He'd be like, all right, this is what we're going to run. And I'd be like, I want to run this much. And he'd be like, we're not doing that. And then we'd argue for 2 days. I'd just throw a fit. And eventually he would just be like, all right, dude, whatever. And I just kept doing that until I eventually just broke him and he let me run whatever I wanted. And he would just pay attention to my blood work and stuff like that, make sure my organs were healthy. But my brain was just slowly deleting itself. And as the years went on, it got worse and worse. There was a time when I literally my little cousin is 3 years younger than me, right? And I'm twice his size, maybe 3 times his size. I threw him across the kitchen because he called me a bitch. And that's not normal behavior at all. I'm a grown man, what am I doing? But I felt completely justified. And I hope that kind of gives you an insight into just how messed up my thinking was. And this continued to spiral out of control. And there was actually almost a point where I stopped when I had just met my now ex-girlfriend. I kind of debated slowing down a little bit, trying to live life normally, maybe just treating bodybuilding as a hobby. But I kind of wanted to give her everything. So I was I need to be super successful. I didn't feel confident in myself in any other regard. So I was the only way I'm going to be successful is bodybuilding. So I just kept on blasting. And that was the worst decision I made because this girl was great. She was sweet, funny, just awesome in all ways. And I was just not good. I was so just destroyed mentally throughout our relationship that I was super self-destructive. I would self-sabotage. I was toxic, mean, angry all the time. And I was just basically slowly getting more retarded, but at the same time, literally regressing in all aspects. And I'm lying to everybody during this time. I'm not telling anybody how much I'm taking. I'm not telling her how much I'm taking. The only person who really knows is my coach because I'm low-key ashamed of it because I don't look that good. I don't look like I'm running as much as I am. And this just kept going all the way up until October where I kicked my videographer out. And then after that, I just kept getting worse. The show came around and I was super miserable for that. I didn't even enjoy really doing it because I was so just mentally drained from everything I was doing to myself. And after the show, I was like, well, I came in fourth. Guess what? You know, I need to run more gear. I need to get bigger. So I ran more gear. And then at this point, like, I've been running hard amounts for about 3 years. My brain has gone from like me just being a really bad dude to like me now being really, really unstable. And I started to get really, really even more suicidal. And like me and my girl at the time, like, we're just going back and forth. Like, I'm treating her like shit. She's not doing anything wrong. I'm just always messed up, always finding something to be mad about. And April comes around. She's finally had enough. You know, like, she ends things. She tries to get me some help. I tell like the people who are trying to help me that I'm fine, nothing's wrong, leave me alone. I get them to fuck off. And then I try to take my life. That obviously puts me in the hospital. But finally, after that, it took all of this for me to finally be like, okay, maybe I'm not stable. Maybe things aren't good. I came off the sauce, went into therapy, got some help, really started growing closer to God during this time. Was still like, I was still sad. I just lost the girl that I thought I was going to marry. So I like obviously coped in some bad ways. And you know, that goes on for some months and some months. So I get help, and you know, I finally come off, but I still like, I'm having a really hard time coping with everything because I just lost like a girl that I still love, you know, like I'm not over things, but that's a different story. And I kind of just quit bodybuilding. I blamed bodybuilding for everything. I blamed gear in general for all of my mistakes. And I just kind of stopped bodybuilding, stopped really living life from April all the way up until about a month ago. And what happened was like, I'm growing in my faith, I'm getting help. And as that continues, there comes a point where I do kind of realize that like, it wasn't bodybuilding, it wasn't the gear, it was what I chose to do with the gear. It was the amounts I took. I had every opportunity in the world to slow down, every opportunity in the world to stop taking as much as I was. I had people tell me not to take as much as I was. My girl back then all the time would be like, she'd be like, listen, like, you're not doing well. She would call me crazy in the nicest way she could, you know? And she's like, you need to kind of get this under control. And I would gaslight her, say it was her fault. You know, I was fine. And then obviously that wasn't the case. And now I'm at a point where like, I understand that like, it was just my decisions. And now I have to face the repercussions of that all. And, you know, I can still bodybuild, but I also now like understand that I can never push it as hard as I was, and I never will. Bodybuilding now is more of a hobby for me. And the reason I came back to content making was because I was at church and I met these really cool guys, started hanging out with them. They're like, dude, you should make content again. Like, I know things didn't go your way, but like, you could definitely inspire people and also teach people on like, just not to make dumb decisions like you did, you know, like you can be a prime example of what not to do. And that kind of catches us up to why I'm back to making content and why I disappeared. So long story short, Monkey used a lot of gear, destroy Monkey's brain. Monkey make a lot of mistake. Monkey throw life away. Monkey find life again. Monkey try to do good things now. So that's that. And now we're here at the good old gym, and we're gonna hit back in buys. But I did want to clear that up because I just kind of hadn't really addressed it to the level I wanted to. But yeah, so I'm never going to touch that much again. I don't know if I honestly don't think that I needed that much anyway. I think it just caused more harm than good, and it didn't really make my physique look that much better. Because from what I remember, when I took low doses for like 6 weeks, I actually looked pretty good. So I'm not back on the sauce as of now, but if that ever does occur, it will be low doses for the foreseeable future, forever. Like I'm talking 1/5 what I was taking. So I want to be very transparent about that as well if that does happen, because I want to be held accountable, and I never ever want to let myself go down that rabbit hole. But I have all the memories of all the horrible shit I did when I was super sauced out of my head anyway, so those hold me accountable as it is. But yeah, don't run copious amounts of gear, guys. You don't need it. It's not safe. Back in buys. We're gonna hit back in buys. I haven't hit back in buys in itself in a very long time. It's either been upper or I was doing chest and back. So today's kind of spicing it up a little bit. I'm pretty excited. Me and Chandler are hopefully gonna get a good old back pump, you know, look nice and saucy. I'll probably pose down a little bit at the end, show how the current physique is looking. And yeah, let's get in there. All right, we're inside. And we're starting on the single arm lat pull down once again, because I honestly feel this a lot more than I feel like regular lat pull down. Like when I do regular lat pull down, I feel like I get more like upper back than I do this, where I'm trying to like, because like if you look at my back, and I'll probably show it today, I don't know, usually I try to hide it away unless it's like for the judges. Like honestly bro, I'm on stage, so like back double bicep, I thought about just hitting my favorite classic pose, right? Because I didn't want to show that thing, but I turned around anyway. But yeah, I'm trying to grow my legs because my back is basically just like that, you know. There's no taper. It's just a large middle back. So I didn't do coke, I promise. My nose itches. That'd be a good pre-workout. Man, I'm slap happy. But yeah, so single arm lat pull down because it's easier in my opinion to like really feel and isolate my lats. I don't have my headphones right now because they're charging in my car. I gotta go grab those in a second. But we're gonna do probably like 2 sets of this, 2 sets of like pullovers, probably like 2 sets of T-bar row. They got a really nice Arsenal T-bar row here that we're probably gonna use. And probably some other back movement in there, I don't know yet. Maybe like single arm seated row, whatever I'm feeling. And then some biceps, a little bit of rear delt. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty. I'm gonna have Chandler looking like he lifts. It's gonna be dope. Humbling machine right here, man. This thing, I have good memories and bad memories on it. When I was on prep, you know, I came in here, I thought I was gonna do like 2 plates. You know, I was like, I got enough gear in me, you know, too much. I still moved about 1.5 plates. So, yeah, if I can move more than that today, that'd be ideal, you know, because I'm way fatter than I was then. But we'll see. We'll see. I got a full belly, so when I like brace up against this thing, bro, it feels like I'm suffocating. But yeah, no, love this thing. Super good for my upper back, but I don't need a whole lot of upper back in comparison to lat, so I'm not gonna do too many sets on this. But yeah, let's see what I can do. Smell what the rock is cooking. Sometimes I just scroll through old photos of myself and I'm like, wow, I was big, but holy fuck did I look like shit. Like, my face was so fucking ugly. Granted, I'm not, you know, I'm not hot now by any means, but like, I was chopped, dude. It was bad. I don't know how I thought I looked good. I don't know how my girl back then thought I looked good. She's like, you're so handsome. I looked 45 and I was like shredded, but I still had a double chin. It didn't make any sense. It was bad, really bad. posture sucks wiener. I gotta fix that. It's just so easy for me to hunch, bro. I don't know. Because all my years gaming, I used to just, dude, I was a Minecraft factions expert, man. Making billions in that game. And then I'd get banned for hacking. I repeatedly was hacking on that game, always. Oh. So like, you know, any of the lore behind like Mike Sommerfeld at the Olympia?
No.
So long story short, dude, he didn't make weight, right? So he got heighted, and like during his heighting, bro, he's literally like previous year, right? He's literally like, and they're like measuring his hair, bro. He has like 2 inches of hair, and they're heighting his hair. But this year, like since people were so upset about that, because like he was so big, like he was so much bigger than all the other classic guys, so like people were complaining. So they remeasured everybody, and they remeasured him. He got heighted an inch shorter, so he had to lose like 10 pounds, right? It's like the like pre-Olympia interview, and they ask him flat out, they're like, what did you weigh in at? He was like 204 pounds. He's previously been 212 pounds, and he's like, but next year I will come in at 5'9" or whatever it has to be like 212 pounds. And everyone's like, how the fuck are you gonna grow an inch, dude? Like, how is that gonna happen? Everyone was just clowning the shit out of him, but like, he meant that shit. Like he said that completely with his chest. He meant every word of it. And now I feel like he's somehow gonna grow another inch. But yeah, Ramon won. That was dope to see. I didn't actually have Ramon winning, prejudging at all. I had Mike Sommerfeld winning, and then I probably had Terrence in second and Ramon in third. But it probably looked different in person because Ramon ended up winning, which I'm not complaining about. I think Ramon's a great bodybuilder and he's an absolute sweetheart, so it was nice to see him take it home. But Mike did look fucking crazy, dude. Mike, he has such a wicked shape. Like, as much as people clown him for like the stuff he says, he is a great bodybuilder, no doubt about that. He's just kind of a meanie, man. I met him one time. He was backstage at my show, and I like walked up to him, and I'm like, hey man, like you look great. You know, I'm trying to talk to him, and he's like, and then turned around so he didn't have to look at me anymore, and then just started chiefing his vape. It was fucking hilarious. I was like, sick, yeah. And I just walked away. I was like, all right, cool. Low key, like, it was backstage, so I'm like all shredded, all tanned up. I thought maybe he'd be like, you look good, kid. You know, just something to like give me a little confidence boost. No, bro, he was like, and just turned around. I was like, all right, fuck, I suck. But yeah, that was my impression. Maybe that was just a bad day for him, but it was funny to hear him say he's gonna be 5'9" next year, because now everyone's like, and then the year after that he'll be 6'5". You know, he's growing still. His growth plates haven't closed yet. I wish I'd be 6'4" right now if that was the case. That was heavy. And it's like really awkward, and it keeps like rubbing on the side. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. This is giving me a pump though. This actually looks decent. Look at that. Looking like a bodybuilder again. That's cute. I'm convinced I haven't actually trained my back at all. It's just all rear delt. That's where all of my back mass is gone. Final movement of back, at least, is good old lat pullovers. So I usually do them single arm, but I've done single arm for everything today, so I'm just gonna do them regular. And do rear delt, and then I'll let Chandler pick the bicep movements because I feel like a sweetheart today. Unless they're shit, then I'm taking that back. But we'll see what he has. We'll see what he has in store. Oh. Ow. That's what my lats feel like. All right, y'all, that wraps it up. There's not gonna be a whole lot of clips towards the end. Posing was cut short, the camera, low-key, like, battery's dead as fuck, so that kind of had to change that. But I am sorry if you're not a fan of, like, the whole, like, you know, sentimental stuff, talking about, like, mental health and everything like that, but I feel like bodybuilding is growing, which is great, but that means PED use is growing as well, and I kind of wanted to share, like, what can happen if you're not careful, or if you're overzealous like I am and decide to abuse the fuck out of them. But yeah, guys, that wraps it up for today. Good lift, felt good. Next video will be better, and we'll be back to, like, the usual style of everything, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please consider following me on my other socials, subscribing, leaving a like, and obviously check out Chandler's socials as well. Thank you guys for watching. Love, bro. Peace.